Right now, there is a good chance you would refuse to drink a glass of water that sat out on your nightstand while you slept. It did not magically turn into poison overnight. Your modern brain is simply hardwired to treat any stagnant water with extreme suspicion. Yet across hundreds of thousands of years of human prehistory, pristine, chemically treated tap water did not exist. Early humans routinely drank directly from raging rivers, murky swamps, mud-filled footprints, and hollowed-out tree trunks. They had no carbon filters, no chlorine tablets, and no sanitation labels warning them of deadly pathogens. So how did our ancestors survive without clean water? The answer is not that early humans possessed invulnerable digestive tracts or superpowered immune systems. They got sick constantly and millions died from preventable waterborne infections. Their true survival mechanism was keen environmental observation, social knowledge, and behavioral risk management. To understand how they survived, we have to look at human physiology. The human body is essentially an inefficient, leaky container. Water regulates core internal temperature, lubricates moving joints, fuels cellular metabolism, and prevents our bloodstream from turning into thick sludge. While a human can endure weeks without solid calories, acute dehydration turns deadly in merely 3 to 4 days. Early humans could never wander aimlessly. Every migration route had to be tethered to reliable hydrology. Making matters harder, our ancestors evolved a powerful cooling mechanism, heavy sweating. Sweating enabled persistence hunting across scorching savannas, allowing humans to run prey to physical collapse. But that cooling system came with an unforgiving biological bill, continuous fluid loss. To offset this deficit, foragers extracted moisture from wild roots, berries, and raw animal tissues. But food moisture could only postpone dehydration, not replace drinking water. Survival meant mastering the wild landscape, remembering hidden springs, and avoiding deadly water margins where ambush predators and animal waste waited. Once a prehistoric band located a water source, they faced a life-or-death calculation. Would this drink hydrate them, or destroy their intestines? Early humans knew nothing about microscopic bacteria or parasites, yet natural selection ruthlessly rewarded individuals who recognized visual patterns. Fast-moving water churning over clean stones was far safer than warm, stagnant pools baking under the sun. A mountain spring surging out of fractured rock acted as nature's filter, whereas an unmoving pond concentrated deadly bacterial blooms. Our ancestors also observed wildlife movements. Game trails often pointed the way toward concealed water basins. However, relying on animal behavior was dangerous. A wild gazelle or warthog possesses digestive adaptations capable of handling pathogens that would cause catastrophic intestinal failure in a human. Botanical indicators provided far more dependable clues. Deep green bands of wild willow, lush river reeds, and dense insect swarms. During drought periods, signaled shallow, underground water tables. When riverbeds dried into cracked silt, hunters dug exploratory seep wells into the gravel floor. The initial muddy fluid was allowed to settle in containers until the clear upper layer could be skimmed off. In alpine regions, groups melted clean glacial ice beside campfires. In dense tropical jungles, they slashed open thick woody vines to drink pure botanical sap. Every individual tragedy, like drinking downstream from a rotting carcass, was converted into tribal knowledge. Clan elders transformed these painful lessons into strict oral customs, warnings, and mythological taboos. Taboos like never drink downstream from fallen timber or avoid warm seasonal pools were essentially prehistoric public health guidelines wrapped in tribal folklore. By transforming suffering into shared culture, human bands dramatically improved their odds of survival in an unforgiving world. Around 12,000 years ago, the rise of agriculture forced humans to completely rethink their relationship with fresh water. Nomadic hunter-gatherers could pack up and migrate when a stream spoiled, but permanent farmers were bound to their fields, houses, and livestock. Instead of chasing unpredictable water sources, Neolithic humans decided to force the earth to supply water on demand. In Central Europe, archaeologists have uncovered remarkable, timber-lined wells built over 7,000 years ago. These were not crude holes in the dirt. They were masterworks of Stone Age woodworking. Builders split massive oak logs with stone tools, carved interlocking corner joints, and lowered square timber casings deep into the earth to tap. pristine underground aquifers. Tapping groundwater fundamentally changed the survival equation. Surface water was constantly polluted by farm runoff, manure, and seasonal rot. But as rain percolates downward through layers of soil, sand, and bedrock, natural physical filtration strips away heavy sediment and surface contaminants. Constructing these deep timber shafts required organized community planning, precise engineering, and collective manual labor. A dependable well determined where villages could take root, how large populations could grow, and how long societies could endure. It is mind-blowing that over 7,000 years ago, Stone Age, humans built engineered wells that still survive in the archaeological record today. If you find deep historical engineering like this fascinating, tap that subscribe button. It really helps the channel uncover more untold history. With the wooden well, water ceased to be a lucky natural discovery. It officially transformed into humanity's very first engineered public utility. Did ancient humans deliberately purify their water before drinking it? Humans mastered fire long before the invention of ceramic pottery. By dropping glowing, fire-heated stones into water-filled hide pouches, wooden basins, or bark containers, early people could easily bring liquids to a rolling boil. However, archaeological evidence suggests early boiling was used primarily for cooking, rendering animal fats and preparing medicinal broths. The destruction of lethal waterborne pathogens was initially a fortunate side effect rather than an intentional sanitation strategy. Physical filtration was also practiced. Foragers strained murky water through woven fibers, layers of clean sand and crushed charcoal. While passing water through, sand and charcoal eliminated cloudy sediment and foul odors. It did not eliminate microscopic bacteria. Clear water created a deceptive illusion of purity, leaving dangerous pathogens intact. This reality completely shatters the popular romantic myth that our ancestors possessed superhuman immune systems. Ancient skeletal remains and burial grounds reveal staggering rates of parasitic infection, chronic dysentery, and tragic child mortality linked directly to contaminated water. Nor did ancient societies survive by exclusively drinking beer and wine, while fermentation and brewing did sanitize beverages in later agricultural civilizations. Nomadic foragers lacked the massive grain surpluses in storage, containers needed to brew alcohol. Ancient survival was not built on biological immunity or constant intoxication. It was built on relentless observation, physical trial and error, and the gradual perfection of water management techniques across generations. As primitive farming villages grew into powerful empires, controlling water became the ultimate expression of political power. Ancient Mesopotamians, Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans transformed water management into monumental civil engineering. Massive stone aqueducts, tiered settling basins, and complex pipeline networks transported mountain spring water across hundreds of miles into bustling urban centers. City fountains and public cisterns became vital civic hubs where citizens gathered, traded news, and socialized. To safeguard these critical resources, ancient states declared natural springs sacred, placing them under the protection of patron gods. Religious laws against polluting sacred groves served as history's earliest municipal public health regulations. Greek physicians like Hippocrates even developed specialized cloth filters to strain boiled water, creating early systematic guidelines for water quality. Yet even Rome's monumental water networks remained vulnerable to lead contamination, sewage leaks, and sudden epidemics. The true sanitation revolution did not arrive until the 19th and 20th centuries, with the discovery of germ theory, sand filtration beds, and municipal chemical chlorination. Today, thousands of years of engineering and biochemical science are silently condensed behind your kitchen wall. You turn a metal tap and instantly receive pure, disease-free water on demand. Ancient humans had to earn every single drop through environmental vigilance, spatial memory, and generational survival wisdom. If you enjoyed exploring the ingenuity and survival tactics of our ancient ancestors, hit that subscribe button to join us for our next journey into human history. So the next time you hesitate over a glass of water that sat out for a few hours, remember you are carrying the hard-earned instincts of ancestors who learned to survive a dangerous, thirsty world.